Alabama pulled out a victory late against Missouri on Saturday, and a good part of that was due to the excellent play from Ty Simpson. But I did want to point out that there are some things that he does that are concerning that I've now noticed a couple weeks in a row, and I'll tell you what that is. But first, a lot of these plays I'm going to show you are a lot of the good stuff. He's doing the typical, hey, he's NFL ready type of plays, and you'll see what I mean later. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Early in the game, we got a 3rd and 8. And you're going to see Ty Simpson. He looks comfortable here in the pocket. He steps up and he hits Brooks, the freshman wide receiver, versus some really solid coverage here. And you can see where he places the ball. This is what I mean by NFL type stuff. He throws kind of a high placement on his throw before the DB even turns around. You can say the pass is a little dangerous because the receiver has to jump up, falls down. Maybe the defender if he turns around, but it's placed in such a way where the guy really doesn't get an opportunity to make a play on it because he doesn't have an opportunity to react to it. Really good play from Ty Simpson. And we're going to jump right into the next one where you're going to see Ty Simpson recognize and dissect the zone coverage that the defense is giving him. And I think what we see from Missouri here is a cover 3. You can see one safety playing the deep third in the middle, and you see the 2 corners kind of play deep thirds on the boundary in the field side. So underneath, you see the cloud slash kind of, I like to call that the flat zone defender, and the corner deep with the kind of like a shell over the top because he's playing deep third. You got that cloud guy underneath. There's a space in between them now. It's a gap, and Ty Simpson places a strike right in there to the tight end Cuervis. And honestly, the way he throws his ball, he keeps Cuervis safe with how he delivers it, that's honestly really great. Now we're going to see Ty Simpson throw a really good ball here, which leads to a touchdown, as you can see, to Kevin Riley, the running back. The reason why I'm highlighting this is that you're going to see Ty throws this ball as soon as Kevin Riley breaks inside, which that's really good. Good timing. If another quarterback might wait a little bit too long as he starts to run toward the end zone, by the time defenders are creeping up, by throwing this ball as soon as he breaks inside, Kevin Riley gets a chance to run and pick up some momentum before defenders even get a chance to recognize that he's about to get a touchdown. So really good plays from Ty. Now this play that I'm showing you now and that you're seeing, I would say it was Ty's most NFL throw to date, which is really cool because he's done some really good things. But you're going to see the wide receivers in trips to the top of the formation, and you're going to see a good route concept here by Grubbs, the offensive coordinator. He really knows how to put his receivers in a position to where they're going to get open, how they're going to influence the DBs and the people that are trying to cover them. So it is a good route concept versus zone. And you're going to see Jeremy Bernard on a bit of a post route here. You're going to see Ryan Williams on a mid-level out route, kind of runs up. Looks like he's going to do something inside, but then he really just cuts to the outside, and that's important in a second. You're going to see Isaiah Horton kind of running like a deep seam slash kind of post route, like a seam kind of over the middle toward the end zone. You're going to see Ryan Williams attracts the second-level zone defender, which that second-level zone defender is playing zone underneath where Isaiah Horton's seam is. So imagine if he didn't have this space, he would have to fit the ball into a tighter window. And you're going to see Jeremy Bernard holds the middle deep DB as well, and so does Ty Simpson with his eyes. If you're watching him, he's looking like ahead, kind of to the right. The safety doesn't know where to go. He can't move. He can't cheat. And so that allows Ty Simpson to then rifle it into the seam for the red zone touchdown here, because the middle safety is away from the ball. The underneath defender followed Ryan Williams for a split second. Window is wide open. He throws it in there without hesitation. That's a touchdown. Really good play. This next play is where things start to get a little weird. After this play, you're going to see Ty Simpson. He doesn't look the same after this play, if you ask me. I think he got hurt on this run, and he waved off the injury tent. I think I saw somebody say that, like he didn't go into the injury tent after this. The right tackle and the right guard got whipped on this play to begin with, right? So, and that's not the last time that you'll see that today. If you go back and watch the game, you'll see that Alabama's offensive line struggled on the right side, and that kind of led to some issues later on. Ty Simpson does get off a nice run. He gets the first down. He gets hit into the air. He helicopters, reminds me of that time that Deshaun Watson got helicoptered by the Alabama defense in the 2016 game. and he lands really hard, even smacking his head a little bit, I would argue. And I will say this is possibly a slight head injury, which might influence why he may have made some decisions he made later on in the game. So keep track of this. Now you're going to see at the later on, I just want to point out this is also another issue that Alabama had in addition to the right side of the offensive line struggling. You're going to see the running backs struggling pass protection. So it's funny that Jam Miller got a lot of praise for his pass protection. He's the best running back for pass protection in Alabama, but he kind of whiffed a few times in this game along with the other backs. Ty Simpson still delivers the ball, and he gets a really great passing conversion here, but this is not the last time that the running back pass protection is struggles, and it leads to some pressure and some hits later on in the game. Now I'm showing you, this is where you start to see the turn a little bit in the game. Ty Simpson is starting to hold on to the ball a little bit too long. If you look, he has Rico Scott, Cuevas, and Jeremy Bernard. So that's number 11, number 80, and number 5. They're all open short. He didn't give them a chance. Sometimes a quarterback, you just gotta give you a chance. Tom Brady was really good at that. And he takes a sack because he's looking downfield. Tua Tagovailoa struggled doing this a whole bunch at Alabama, which honestly directly led to some of his injuries at Alabama. I don't want to see Ty Simpson end up doing the same thing. And he did typically, if you look at the first few games of the season, he didn't do that. Guy open underneath, check down. Guy under, check down. Running back, tight end, wide receiver leaking out, drag route to the flat. He's hitting them. This game, he stopped doing it, which was really, really interesting to me. Let me know if you noticed, but it's a few times, and I'll show a few of them here. We're going to go to the next play. Remember I said the right side of the offensive line struggled, and it wasn't the last time? Here we go. The right tackle is getting beat again. It's a different guy this time. So Alabama's shuffling the offensive linemen, so they're trying to get different guys experience, probably letting some guys say, hey, you lost a rep. We're going to take you out. We're going to let another guy get a chance. But once again, though, even though the right tackle gets beat, Ty Simpson's holding on to the ball too long, and he gets sacked as a result. Underneath is open once again. Tight end number 87, which I believe is Lewis, and the running back number 4, which I believe is Daniel Hill. They both are open in the flat. There's no guarantee that you get the first down for sure, right? There's no guarantee, but you got to give your guys a chance to make some space in the open field and get the first down, which I have reason to believe. I think they get it if they get that ball. You can let me know if you think differently, but there's no need for Ty Simpson to be looking down the field and taking a sack. You got to get that internal clock going, which it seems like he had his internal clock going really well before this game and before that hit. I'm going to keep referencing that hit. Before he hit that ground and hit his head, it seems like his internal clock was doing really good over the past few weeks. Not so much now. Really interesting. Now we're going to see Alabama in 12 personnel. Missouri is going to send 6 defenders here on this play. And you're going to see Ty Simpson, he's looking downfield, which is cool. You know, that's what he does. Tight end number 87, though, Lewis, is wide open in the flat on a check down. Throw it to him. That's all I got to say. Ty Simpson, throw it to Lewis because he gets sacked here and he fumbles the ball. You're seeing Ty Simpson make mistakes repeatedly that he typically does make. And I say all this to say Missouri actually played good defense. So this is not to say that this is all on Ty, that he's a bad player. I hope no one's taking that away. I obviously praised him in the first half of the video and for the last 3 games for sure. But this is something that if you know your offensive line is not holding up, you got to get rid of the ball. You got to throw it out. Like, sure, we definitely want to make sure that the offensive line plays better, but you have to know when it's not that great, which we've known this to be the case for a few years. A lot of Jalen Milroe detractors really got on him about some things, and the offensive line was struggling, and it was never accounted for. And I mentioned it all the time. I mentioned it for them. I'm going to mention it for Ty as well. Offensive line needs to get better, but you also got to know when to check down and get out of there. And the offensive coordinator needs to call check downs. They didn't call a lot of plays with check downs last year for Jalen. They wanted him to use his legs a lot. And I feel, and Tommy Reese did as well, which is interesting. Very long developing plays downfield. When offensive line is not good enough to do that, you have to take some check downs and get your guy in the flat. Ty Simpson gets sacked and fumbled here. Missouri, once again, sending 6. So they figured out the recipe. Alabama's offensive line can't handle our rush. Zion Young was having a field day. Missouri's sending multiple people on the pass rush. Pass protection breaks down again. And there's pressure once again. that leads to an incomplete pass from Ty Simpson. And so Missouri's playing good defense. Ty Simpson looks to be a little late in his internal clock. His pocket awareness has taken a hit. Something is going on after that hit. He landed on his head. Now, I just have to point it out here. It was a fun moment in the game. I'm just going to show you that Caden Proctor was in the Wildcat. And Caden Proctor in the Wildcat, maybe that should happen a lot more. It was just, I think everybody in college football is having fun watching what Grubbs does with Caden Proctor every week. And we need to see more of it 100%. Okay, at the risk of going on too long with this video, I'm interested to hear what y'all say and what y'all are interested in to talk about. I'm going to give you one more play. It's 4th and 8. This was a really big one, obviously. This helped Alabama solidify the game and pull it on out. Alabama, though, I got to say, put themselves in a tough position here. Running kind of struggled toward the end, and some incomplete passes and not really taking checkdowns. Once again, put Alabama in a position where it's like, okay, why is it? First of all, I mean, you didn't even see what happened before this. Alabama ended up with like a 1st and 25 or something. It was a long series. I didn't look it up right before this, but then they had to get 2 plays just to get back down to 4th and 8, which is crazy. Due to over relying on passing the ball, not running enough or not running well enough, and not taking checkdowns. So here they are. In this play, Alabama had to rely on basically a perfect Ty Simpson throw to convert this 4th down. What's interesting is that early in the game, I said, hey, his most NFL throw today. This one is pretty close. Like, he might have topped that earlier play, which is pretty cool with how he placed this ball. He just has the ability to do that. Trips to the top of the formation. They got a deep corner on this play. There's not much separation from the receiver, so Brooks couldn't really get free that well from Missouri DB. Ty Simpson throws a nice arcing ball over the defender. He puts it high where the defender can't really get to it, and where his receiver can jump up and catch it and it's not too far out of his reach. Allows Brooks to jump for the ball, like I said, a freshman, where he can only touch it. He did. He catches it, converts. Alabama goes on to throw a touchdown, and that score ended up making the difference in the game. All that to say, so look, Ty Simpson, still excellent, still really great quarterback. I think he's starting to get very confident, and he could be possibly developing a bad habit of holding on the ball too long, looking for big plays down the field, instead of doing what's worked really well so far, taking these checkdowns, taking what the defense gives them, and moving the chains. Let me know if you're seeing the same thing. I'm pretty sure I just showed like some really solid evidence of that, so I'm interested to know what others are saying, but this is something that I would keep an eye on. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.